Alright, hi everybody. This is Late Night Gaming Thought with the Midnight Crew. I'm Nordy J.
I'm Tito.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Joe.
And this is our first episode, as I'm sure you're no doubt aware. And, I mean, hey, we're just four losers sitting around a traveling trunk. Not even a real table, because we can't afford that, because college is hard, guys. We have 2 laptops, some sound equipment, some diet cherry Pepsi.
Yep.
Sun chips, and what remains of an Uno's personal pizza. It is Friday night. We have nothing better to do with our lives except to sit here talking about all sorts of fun, philosophical gaming questions.
And eat food.
And eat food. And drink things.
Cheers to that.
But not the bevs. So, tonight's topic, I guess, we're gonna start with the best video game movies of all time, and the best movie video games. And let me just, elaborate on that, because that's not necessarily the most intuitive set of words anyone's ever uttered. But what I mean by that is the best video games that are based on film franchises, and the best movies that are based off video game franchises. And we're just going to sit here and debate about, the best and worst in each. And I think we said we were going to start with the movies based on video games. So, open up the floor and go, guys.
Alright, well, I'm not very well versed in video game movies, but what I do know is that Super Mario Brothers was terrible. Just awful. I've seen a couple of sequences. I don't think that the enemies are even correct in the movie.
No, they are not.
They are who's the main villain in the movie?
I believe it's a dragon?
Oh no, it's Bowser. It's just he's some guy with it
Spiked
basically
hair?
looks like blonde spiky hair. I think they're supposed to be
So
actual spikes.
So so a member of NSYNC was just like, I'll play the part.
Basically.
Guys, remember, this is canon, so... Yeah.
I'm just pulling up the posters on a Google image search right
it's
now.
something else.
Oh my lord, what even am I looking at?
I've never been more terrified in my life.
I don't think I want to know.
One of these dudes looks like a bald John Goodman almost. That's amazing.
That's an insult to John Goodman.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, no, that guy looks like... imagine Lex Luthor had a kid with NSYNC, and that's what you got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good God. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that might win hands down for worst one ever.
Well, it's just because it's also living up to one of the biggest video game franchises of all time. I mean, and it's just such a poor representation of it. I think that just juxtaposes how bad the movie is and how good I guess the video games are.
I gotta say, I'm still in shock from those images.
Now here's a question for you guys. There is an Angry Birds movie that is set to be released sometime in, according to Wikipedia, 2016.
You had to remind me, didn't you?
How do we feel about this?
I thought it was a rumor, but...
Well...
Damn.
I mean...
Wikipedia can't lie.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You
I forgot
can't
about
be
that.
lied to.
Everything
on
you
the
find on
internet.
the internet's true.
I mean, I'm not even surprised.
No, you shouldn't be.
I wish I was, but there are already, Angry Birds short cartoons. I only know this because for some reason my roommate watches them and, legitimately laughs at them. I'm a little bit worried for him. So...
As you should be.
So, all that remains to be seen is whether or not it does better than the Lego movie, which is going to be more of a cash-in.
I honestly believe
But
the
that
Lego
being
movie will
said,
be better.
That looks like it's going to be pretty cool.
It does.
It looks like fun.
Dude, Will Arnett is playing Batman.
He was born for that role.
Yeah, he was.
Another bet. Is he going to do better than Ben Affleck?
Oh my god.
It's gonna be
That's a good
interesting.
question. That's
I'm going to take
question.
bets on that one
Damn.
now. We're probably going to talk about that at some point.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's
All right.
going to be fun.
But to rein us back in, I have a suggestion for the best video game movie of all time.
All right.
My suggestion is the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, fuck you.
Look, here's my line of reasoning.
Okay.
I cannot think of a good, video game movie. The Dead or Alive movie, in terms of like representing its franchise, was pretty good. It's still a crappy movie, but Super Mario Brothers was a horrible movie. But goddamn, is it amusing to watch? It is like it's so baffling in the changes it made that it's like achieving enlightenment.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna take that argument, then you could argue that M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar was also fantastic.
No.
We will
That's
not
different.
cross that line.
Not
We will not cross that
100%
line.
right now.
That's
Not going there.
entirely different.
As the ancient Hawaiians used to say, no.
Okay.
Okay, so to counter your absolutely ludicrous idea, I have a couple that I've actually seen, albeit not recently, that I would like. I would like to actually propose as good video game movies, and at the top of the list I have Resident Evil. Not necessarily all of them because they're kind of reaching at this point. Let's just say. I've heard that Prince of Persia was decent, but I never played the video games nor saw the movies.
It was a decent movie. I don't believe it did the video game justice. I felt like the video game.
Who was it? Was that Jake Gyllenhaal?
It was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
Well, how old
Jake
was he at
Gyllenhaal.
that point? Like, he was probably like in late 30s, 40s or something.
Mid 30s, somewhere around
Oh, really?
that.
Yeah.
And the one that I'm gonna put at the top of my list, and you know it's gonna catch some flack, but Silent Hill. I actually enjoyed the first Silent Hill movie a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it did a pretty good job of getting across the sense of just sheer creepiness that good Silent Hill games have done. It made an attempt to start off with the same plot as one, as far as I'm aware, but I could be wrong. I think it at least has some of the same characters. That being said, the second one kinda was not as great, but I think that shouldn't take away from the first one, and I honestly can't think of a better example of a good video game movie.
I can't comment on it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, me
Oh,
neither.
Man. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing between now and the next time, so that they can admit that I'm right.
Yeah,
Alright.
I've always been interested in Silent Hill. It seems like I've played a couple Resident Evils. I think I played about half of 2, which I need to actually play. And I played all of 4. God, that was a great game for Resident Evil. But I never played any Silent Hills. I've watched a few people play Silent Hills. I watched Homecoming, and part of
Downpour?
Downpour.
Yeah, Downpour was not great.
No,
Just
I don't
save
think
yourself-
either
Don't
of those.
just save yourself the trouble. Don't watch Downpour.
No, I don't think either
play
of those.
Downpour. Don't watch Downpour.
Just forget Downpour exists.
Forget the one that they had on the Wii. Was that Shattered Memories?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
that
that.
looked like a
Sounds right.
mixture of terrible and wonderful, but probably terrible.
Yeah, because a lot of people say that I think 2 or 3 was the best Silent Hill game.
2 is the prevailing opinion I've heard.
2.
Yeah,
okay.
2 is generally regarded as the best. I think everything before 4 or whatever comes after 4, because that's when it went to shit with the numbering convention, are generally regarded as the best ones.
Yeah.
But personally, the video game I think that's coming out in the next 10 years or so that I'm looking forward to more than any other one, Mass Effect. I know that I know I'm gonna be disappointed.
Wait, you mean for a movie?
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
cannot wait to see a Mass Effect movie, and I know I'm gonna be disappointed. I know it can't possibly live up to my expectations, but I'm still so excited to just see them do a Mass Effect movie.
Wait, have they confirmed this or anything, or are you just saying that?
Um,
I've
if
heard
they
plenty
did
of
that-
rumors, but
I mean, I want to see one. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not.
Well, I do gotta say that I feel like Mass Effect and other like RPG games that like have branching paths.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that has to be more experienced by each individual like viewer, user, player, like gamer, whatever. But like, it's just I can't imagine like a game like Mass Effect or Dragon Age or anything of that sort, Knights of the Old Republic. I can't imagine that going into like being as like Nordy J said earlier, that I feel like it'd be a disappointment. It'd be cool to see, but I definitely won't reach my expectations.
I would have agreed with you before Mass Effect 3.
Well, yeah, and that's the main reason I say I know it cannot possibly live up to my expectations. But
like, on one hand, the original Mass Effect is one of my favorite games of all time, and I would be cautiously optimistic about a movie because it has back when like the first game came out and I was still on the BioWare forums.
Those
Bailed ship from that. People were talking about the possibility of a Mass Effect movie, and people were saying like, oh, it shouldn't be the game because, you know, it's got this branching path. It should be, I believe the first book was called Revelations. It's been a while.
I would love to see the one of the books done. I wish they would do the same thing with Star Wars, honestly, but they're not.
No.
And I'm making
Yeah.
peace with that fact every day. But, you know, in Abrams we trust. But, I just pulled up the Mass Effect wiki, and according to them, BioWare officially announced this in May of 2010. Officially announced that it was being worked on. Now, that being said, there is... The only thing that they say about it is that the project is still in early stages of development and no director has been hired or actors cast.
Promising future.
Yeah, that's about what it's looking for. It says in August 2013, which would be the most recent news this has, it would be announced that Legendary Pictures would present the film to Universal Studios in the upcoming months, having distanced itself from Warner Brothers. So it's up to Universal at this point, and I don't have any news on that from here. But I'm going to stop and we're going to go back to talking.
Okay, but to finish my thought, someone on the BioWare forums brought up a really good point after someone said, like, oh, Revelation should be the movie. And I thought that would be interesting because, you know, it's a set plot and it's, you know, some of the most interesting characters in the Mass Effect universe, Anderson and what's his face?
Oh yeah, him.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Dude's one of my favorite characters.
Saren?
Saren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would pay.
It was.
Pay money.
Definitely.
I really
Money.
enjoyed Revelations.
I feel like if it's a set plot, then definitely it has more potential.
But the point that someone brought up was
It would only
it's
disappoint.
not a it's not a conventional Hollywood 3-act structure, or at least not as good a one as Mass Effect the game would be, you know, because Mass Effect is like, as the game would be, you know, let's say we're doing a 90-minute movie, it'd probably be longer, but for our purposes and easy math, first half hour, discover the beacon. Second half hour, go to a planet. Because it's got to be a short movie, I guess we'll just skip straight to Vermeer.
Oh man, but I would so want to see a movie on getting the band together, like just collecting all of the characters.
Yeah,
that would be great.
That'd also be difficult because Mass Effect 1 was a long game.
Mass Effect 2 definitely had
you
more
could-
like that getting the band together thing.
Well, it did, but the thing is even with 1, you could do something sort of like what they did with The Hobbit, where we have the first. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with how they've done it, but or even like the Lord of the Rings, how they have in the first book, they basically get the band together, and then, you know, well, they don't even get to that point, do they?
Oh,
Fellowship? No, wait, no, they do by the end of the movie, I think.
yeah.
Barely.
But barely. So, you know, the first movie would be essentially getting the band together. Second movie would be, I don't know, from some point in time to another point in time.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, epic.
So specific.
Yes. One thing led to another.
Well, what about this notion that, like, kind of like how they're spinning off Mass Effect 4, where it's not going to be a story about, like, Shepard, of course, but, like, it's going to be, like, in the universe, so why wouldn't could the movie be, like, in the same Mass Effect universe? Not necessarily, like,
Not
held
necessarily.
down to any specific plot or any like convention. Like
Not
what I mean?
connected to the whole like Reaper overarching
Yeah.
plot.
like if it was in the same universe, I mean, I think I would still enjoy watching that movie
Yeah.
because it's something new. I don't know, it just
Yeah, and it'd be something you don't really know about yet.
exactly.
That's always exciting. You know, that's what drives me to watch movies or anything that I haven't seen before. Is definitely just the unknown, I guess.
So I apologize. I kind of forgot another movie for best movie of all time.
Kind
All
of.
right.
The Pokemon movies, like the first Pokemon movie, or
I
like
guess that
the
would
first
count,
two.
yeah.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
definitely
it
count.
would count. Like I didn't even think about it until today, doing my research with the Google, and I came across it. I'm like, oh my god, that does actually count. And you know, obviously, I stopped watching after about 4 of them, because I can only take so many legendary Pokemon befriending Ash Ketchum. But no, the first one I really enjoyed. I thought the whole Mewtwo thing went pretty well for an attachment to the game.
Side note, did you watch it in English or Japanese?
English.
Okay. A lot of stuff got cut from the first Pokemon movie.
Oh,
in
really?
English.
Oh,
I can
really?
imagine.
Yes. There was something, I believe, it's been a while, but there was something about while Mewtwo was, like, in his Team Rocket training, he, like, befriended this little girl who got killed off,
Oh,
and
man.
that's what set off his rampage.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense
damn.
now.
Mew, like, the original Mew was, you know how in the English version, he's always like, dude, you don't have to fight me, we're the same. In Japanese, Mew is a jackass. Like, he eggs on Mewtwo like, you're a copy, you're inferior. Like, it's a different movie.
So a lot of this makes a lot more sense knowing that now.
yeah, I mean, like,
And I say it's an even better movie knowing that.
So
Exactly.
wait a second. So was Mew basically like a little Cube?
A little bit, kind of. I could see that.
Cube's a dick. Kind of.
That's an anime reference for those of you unversed.
PMMM.
Like me.
Madoka.
Okay.
I think the only other one of those Pokemon movies I enjoyed was the one that had Entei in it. Because Entei was a badass.
I just love the fact that like
They
I don't know, this
they
one-
didn't even go with the major ones.
Yeah.
They went with Entei.
this one though, like part of that movie that was really good was just I love the fact that Charizard just saw like this whole shit going on like on TV. He's like, oh, I gotta save Ash. 5 minutes later, he's like, Ash is falling, plummeting to his death. It's like, no, and Charizard comes out of nowhere. I mean, I just love that.
Seems legit.
That's devotion. That's loyalty.
It is loyalty. But we're gonna be a little bit disloyal to the subject, I guess, and move on to the second part where we start talking.
So have
onto-
we, I guess, all agreed that Pokemon
Well,
is the best
Poke- I'm
good with that.
I
But
still-
before Norty J was going to say that, I was going to pitch that in. But the thing is, there's this new thing that came out for Pokemon. I don't want to get too sidetracked here, but have you guys heard of Pokemon Origins?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I wouldn't call it a movie, but it's like a 4-part special going off about Red and Blue's life.
Oh.
It wasn't Ash. It's not Gary. And Professor Oak has the deepest voice of all time,
That's great.
which you guys can see is
That's
just
great.
weird, but it's honestly really cool. And like, Brock doesn't follow him, Misty doesn't follow him. Just like, it's just a cool rendition, I guess, because
based on the actual game.
based on the actual game,
That'd be pretty cool.
not
Alright.
like Pokemon Yellow following the anime.
When was this made?
Recently, like this year.
Really?
Yeah, it's on YouTube now.
Oh, damn, I'll have to check that out.
All right, before we like get completely off this subject, that in a similar vein is the Pokemon special manga. I don't remember what it's called in English. It's called something different, I believe. It might be like Pokemon Adventures or something. And that is a manga based directly on the Pokemon games, and they like do a new season like they have a set number of volumes dedicated to each game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool also. But not in motion, so not relevant to us.
Yeah.
I know I brought up
You
Pokemon.
can just flip it.
I know I brought up Pokemon, but I still think I have to go with Silent Hill. I just feel like it's the strongest one, but I'm clearly in the minority because you all have not seen it. I'm hoping to persuade you soon.
When did the first Silent Hill movie come out?
I thought there was only one Silent Hill movie.
No, they
There's a few.
There are only two. They just came out with Silent
3D,
Hill
I think it was.
Revelation,
Yeah.
and that was in 2012. The original Silent Hill came out in 2006.
Okay, because I think I remember seeing movie trailers
Mm-hmm.
for one of the Silent Hill movies, and I remember it looked creepy as hell.
Oh yeah.
It looked
Oh yeah.
darn
The
freaky.
first one has its fair share of nightmare fuel. It has at least one scene I can think of that is almost just pure nightmare fuel, and it's great.
I mean, it's what you would expect coming from the Silent Hill franchise.
and that's what I was saying.
I would hope
it
so.
stays faithful to the Silent Hill aspect of scare me pretty good. But moving on from our movie era of critique to video games
based on movies.
based on movies. So does anybody have any really strong ones?
Or really terrible ones.
Or really terrible ones?
I have
Okay.
I have both, but I'm gonna go with the good one first to
Alright.
start us out on a positive note.
Okay.
Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup.
I had
Ooh.
that for the PS1.
I had it on
I-
the PS2.
I
Okay,
think
I
I
have
had
the
it on
PS1.
Game Boy. Whatever version was on Game Boy, they had one. I know they did. Was amazing.
Yeah.
It was great on PS2. And okay, speaking as someone who does not play sports games as a rule,
Yeah.
yeah. Quidditch World Cup was really goddamn fun. Like, it was really simple, easy to get into. Like, you know, one button was pass, one button was tackle. Press, like, the shoulder button to get a bludger, and then at a certain point the snitch comes out. But, and I mean, like, in theory, it's a really shallow game, but in practice it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And there is a, like, I wouldn't say deep, but extensive, like, kind of franchise mode where you pick a World Cup team.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds amazing.
It's great. You can unlock, like, special shots that, like, I think there's, like, a, like, power meter involved, like, in a fighting game, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
It's
Dear
just got a lot of content, and yeah, that's my nomination for best video
That's-
game movie. Or
that is-
movie video game.
That's
Yeah, see, keep
that's
it
something I
straight.
didn't see coming at all. Well, I mean, have you ever sat down like ever played like a FIFA game before?
I have, and it's not my thing.
I don't. I mean, like I have a lot of fun with FIFA games. Like just like sit down and play, you know, a couple like 2 or 3 rounds, and it kind of sounds like the same thing. And like, but like a good one. Like I feel like the recent FIFAs have been like good. You know, if you find a good sports game, it can be fun. I mean,
Take your word
granted,
for it.
I don't ever, you know, like the extensive list of sports video games I've ever like actually played are a few of the Maddens from PS2, FIFA, and NHL. Oh no, NHL like '95. And the golf portion of GTA 5.
Oh my god.
Which I've heard is actually better than like PGA and like Tiger Woods, which I think is hilarious.
Surprisingly, the tennis part's actually really good too.
Yeah, it is actually super fun. But
Rockstar would be the ones to get that right.
I
yeah.
mean, they always have had decent mini games. I mean, even going back to Red Dead
right,
with Liar's Dice and they have horseshoes, I think.
I don't
They also
know.
had that 5, the knife.
Oh,
game,
knife
game.
knives, yeah.
Now,
But back to the point. That's not what I expect. But you can find a good sports game, I guess, based on movies.
all right, so Tito could already see this, and I'm going to show you guys a picture for one of my nominations because I have several
For best.
for best video games
I agree, by the way. in
based
some
on
aspect.
movies.
Okay, well-
what you all can't see is I'm showing them a picture of the original Jurassic Park arcade game, which had the ride-along bench and the hydraulic suspension or whatever propelled that.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the most fun things to play as a small child, and also terrifying because you were being chased by T-Rexes.
I used to go to this arcade in my town all the time playing that game. Loved it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's amazing.
it got so popular. They had one at a Chuck E. Cheese that I played as like a toddler
Wait,
or whatever.
That's
Chuck
where I
E.
played it.
Cheese?
Yeah, they had one at
Why?
a Chuck E. Cheese.
But why would they? That just seems like so like. Well, I mean, I guess today it would be a big issue, but I guess back then, you know, when people didn't care as much, like Jurassic Park video games, whatever, throw it in there with the 5-year-olds.
Dude, they also had a park builder for like Game Boy or something that my brother bought used. It was like Jurassic Park 3 Park Builder, and it was basically like The Sims or like Roller Coaster
Like
Tycoon.
Zoo Tycoon.
It was like Zoo Tycoon, but with dinosaurs.
No, there was one on the
That's the
Xbox as well
which-
that I played.
which
That was
could
fun.
only be a great thing. Other than that, I mean, the only things that were really on my list might have been, I'm looking forward to the new Alien game. The Alien Insurrection or whatever it's
Didn't
called
they have
coming out.
Didn't that come
They have-
out?
they had-
You're,
No, no,
you're
no.
thinking of Colonial
Colonial
Marines,
Marines,
which
which
was bad.
Which was pretty
Right.
bad.
I've not heard good things about that game.
But that's my point, is that they're coming out with another one, and I'm pretty sure that it's called whatever I just called it. Not Infestation, Isolation.
Okay.
And that's supposed to be coming out, according to Wikipedia, the 4th quarter of this year. I saw a trailer for it. It looked pretty cool. I thought it looked... I mean, you can't obviously judge based on trailers anymore, based on the trailer that they had for Colonial Marines.
Dead Island too. Dead Island had
Dead
an amazing trailer.
Oh,
for
Dead
that
Island-
game.
really
Dead
good,
Island
yeah.
had a great trailer, and I bought it because I was like, this looks like one of the most amazing games.
And then it was.
Pretty meh, and it didn't have a co-op split screen.
I mean,
for the
Dead
Xbox.
Island wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it.
It wasn't actively bad. It just wasn't.
It just
really
didn't
good.
live up to the hype.
Oh my god, it didn't like. I don't think most video games could not live up to the
Hype
trailer
it?
for that.
Oh yeah,
That was
really
that
good.
was
I
flipping.
have to commend the art team for that, and I almost want to say they should make that, like, whoever did that, make a movie, just going off of that.
Yeah.
Just work with that entire plot. and
I've been
run with
saying
it.
for a while that Valve should make a movie at this point for anything. I mean, you've seen the Meet the X character videos for Team Fortress 2.
True.
They're obviously like skilled filmmakers. They could make something.
Yeah, being able to work that carries, mod.
Oh, not
Yeah.
that. The,
Yeah, I'm
the
being-
one with like Source Filmmaker and stuff.
Yeah, I'm being facetious.
Anyway,
Now,
Go ahead.
oh well, okay. As the resident Star Wars fanboy,
I could challenge you for that title. Well, actually,
I
no, you're
don't
more.
think you could. Sir.
No.
I don't think you could.
As soon as I said that, I realized
you
how
realize
wrong
I
I was.
have a Wookiee hoodie hanging in my closet right now. You want to go?
He does, listeners.
Let the Wookiee win. Let the Wookiee win.
All right.
So,
I will
continue.
Attest, I will attest for this.
Going off of that, I have 2 nominations. One of which we talked about beforehand. KOTOR. I don't know if we want to apply that because it's in universe, and it doesn't directly have repercussions in the movie, but it's still in universe, and it's still a really good story. I mean, yes, it has repercussions, but
in theory, Darth
everything
Revan was the inspiration for Darth Bane taking on,
The rule of two.
of two,
Yes,
which directly affects the movie.
And for
Yeah.
those who don't know that, Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Excuse me. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
Commonly abbreviated KOTOR.
Long regarded as one of the best Star Wars titles to ever come out.
Better than
First-
Phantom Menace pod racing.
The arcade game for pod racing was pretty sweet though. I enjoy playing that whenever I can find it.
That game
But,
was good, but definitely doesn't. It's not as good as.
Oh, yeah.
I was.
I mean, it's a basic racing game, but you know. And the other game I think won't face much opposition, even though you gave a very good example of a high quality video game based on a movie, Battlefront. You can't. I don't think there's.
I feel
much
like Battlefront is more like appropriate than like KOTOR because like.
I agree,
yeah.
and that's why it hands down above any other game I've ever played. Because not only is it a good video game based on a movie, it's just a good game.
So fun.
Question: are we talking Battlefront 1 or 2?
Or Elite Forces or whatever that was for the PS.
Right, that existed.
Yeah, that existed. No,
Wait, what?
The PSP versions.
Yeah, the
they
PSP
existed.
version was
yeah, I
pretty
didn't-
bad.
I mean, both games were good.
I mean, you can pick whichever one. I think that.
Just the series.
I mean, yeah, I would say it's a very strong series in general. I think that they fixed a lot of the problems that one had with 2.
But they added a few more.
They added a few more, but still, I mean, it was a solid game. Like,
yes,
and
definitely.
I don't think there's anybody in our generation who would say that they absolutely detest Battlefront.
No,
I mean,
I think it's one. I think it was almost. It was like. It was one of those like almost staples of the PS2. I feel. I don't know. Did it come out for Xbox? I don't remember.
It did.
It was a staple for both.
It was like, but it was like. I don't. I mean, I guess like then you'd have to really question what like a staple was for the PS2. But it was definitely up. If it was not a staple, it was definitely very, very close.
Like I mean, I remember the first time I played Battlefront was at like my friend's house when I was in like early grade school, and I was like, "This is amazing. This needs to be acquired by my family." I didn't even own a PS2. I bought it to play at my grandmother's house because she had a PS2 because my grandfather liked to play video games occasionally. He liked to play old racing NASCAR games. So I would play that as a small child with him, but he got a PS2 and I would play that whenever I went over there. I got a memory card. That was the first game I bought for a PS2.
Nice.
And I don't think that there's I can't, I mean, do any of you have an argument, something to present that could face Battlefront?
Well, I have. Well, one thing I do want to bring up about Battlefront is that I feel like if you don't know what's happening in the Star Wars universe, I guess at the time of each, because the campaign mode works that you play in those big battles throughout the games, which I know that it's definitely the first movie. I don't know about second or third.
I think you play as like a certain like clone regiments.
Right.
In the second one.
Yes, the first game is more based around
Just generic.
episodes 1 and 2, and like
And
once they get towards the end of the campaign, they
It
just
just
kind of
sort of
make
trails off.
stuff up.
Right.
And then the third game incorporates episode 3 heavily.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
but and they also include obviously all the original movies.
Well, yes.
And the biggest gripe I have about 2 is that they took out 2 of my favorite maps to play on, which were the Bespin maps. When they took out Bespin, that was for me that was the biggest mistake they made in making 2. They took out Bespin.
But the argument that I'm making is that its campaign mode is very unclear if you don't know the movies. Like I remember playing this like when I was probably like I don't know 12 or 13 years old. I mean I was probably younger when they came. Well, I was definitely younger when they came out. But like I remember playing them and not really understanding the context in which I was doing it. All I knew is that I am a droid. I'm fighting these people. I don't really know why, but I'm doing it. So I don't know.
I think it was still fun to play.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
You could still get parts of the story based on the blurbs they gave you before each mission.
Yeah.
And the first game, you weren't,
You
playing
weren't
for any kind of
story.
plot.
You weren't playing for plot.
I can understand getting a little bit invested in the plot of the second game, but
that
even
was
then,
pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed the take they gave for the plot of the second one. Especially
It's like seeing it
having
from, like,
to
the
take down the
clone.
Jedi at
Yeah.
points.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that's the only thing that I could truly think of in that game that might not be the most fleshed out thing. Not to say that it's not it's not passable. Like absolutely it is. But that's the only like gripe I could think of. Secondly, a game to counter that. I truly think that I do have a game that would counter that. which it really depends on what you would define as, based on a movie.
Are
but
you gonna throw out the Spider-Man games?
I'm not gonna throw out the Spider-Man
Okay,
games,
thank
though
you.
I do like
You
the
regard
Spider-Man
those.
games.
I know you regard those pretty highly.
I'm a big Spider-Man fan personally. No. Nintendo 64 James Bond.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, shit.
Yeah, we kind of forgot about that.
That was
Yeah.
my secret weapon that as a spy game, I was keeping up, on my
I
sleeve.
played the Battlefront pretty close to the chest when no real names, Tito.
Nailed it!
Nailed it. I got it, guys. When Tito brought up KOTOR before we started recording, I purposely kept that back, but you did a pretty good job. You got me.
I mean, the other thing, sitting right there, we're in Nordy J's room right now, and I have a bunch of my games sitting over there. One of them is Nightfire. What I believe one of the staples of PS2, but Nintendo 64 James Bond is very important. Like, think about how many people played that game.
Video games.
Hell, bought a Nintendo 64 to play that game.
I can't make a valid counterpoint because I do agree with you. I think it. Wow. So I just spoke English, guys. I don't know if you could tell, but no, I agree with you. I think it defined. I think it defined a generation of gamers.
Absolutely.
Almost, and got a lot more people than otherwise would have been interested in video games. And I can't say anything about whether or not that was true for the Battlefront series. Although it did it for me. I mean, I told you guys,
Right.
I bought a PS2 to play that game.
Right.
And for about 2 years, that might have been one of the only games I had, with good reason.
Right.
But, I mean, to this day, I can still headshot a droid from 50 feet with no auto-aim assist.
I've played with you before, and I've seen that happen.
I mean, my kill count gets up into the 60s sometimes on a good day. But, no, I can't argue with... GoldenEye
I think
is the one.
I've got a small counterpoint to GoldenEye,
Yeah,
and
I
it's a
think I know.
very, very small gripe.
Okay.
If you have ever been playing GoldenEye with your friends, this goes out to all my listeners, and you have picked Oddjob, eat a dick.
A horse dick.
A horse
I
dick.
hate you.
Specifically a horse
The
dick.
biggest one possible.
Oh yeah.
Great. Well, we just lost our PG-13 rating, guys. Congratulations.
Sorry, kids.
We're
not sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't Anjob have the hat that you could
Yeah.
throw at people?
But it's
Instant
not
kill.
that. It's that he's shorter than all the other characters, and GoldenEye didn't have like an aim down.
Was
thing.
it like the
Or
Doom?
a good one?
Was
if
it
Or
like
a good? Yeah.
Was it like the Doom engine where you basically shoot ahead of you?
Well, basically, but the thing it was for the 64, so you did have a
There's
little bit
only
more.
one stick.
Yeah, there's only one stick, and I think you had to press the Z button on the back of it, and it was just confusing. It was because the Nintendo 64 had the three
the prongs.
The
the three prongs.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and you usually like a normal person put them on the outside, but I think to aim up and down you had to press the Z button in the middle one.
Oh.
And move the analog stick downward. So
Wow.
if you were gonna play as anybody against Oddjob, you'd have to do that. And so basically you were forfeiting your left or right hand.
Yeah, that I can see where that would be a huge game-breaking
Right.
inconvenience.
And I mean, I guess the other technical argument you could have is I don't think that GoldenEye was based on a specific movie. I don't know if it was or not.
It was based on the franchise. It's just like Nightfire.
Right.
Nightfire is not from a movie.
Yeah.
There's only one
Well, I mean, but you could make the same argument about Battlefront.
True.
Where it spans, at least the second one spans all 6 movies.
But that isn't. But those are specific movies. You can point at a movie and be like that one.
That part came from that one.
But
Generally.
GoldenEye was on its own, right?
Hang on. GoldenEye was a James Bond movie, though apparently not one anybody remembers because everybody remembers the
and
game.
shit.
I thought that because
1995.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan, right?
I was
Yep.
gonna say, wasn't
Damn.
it not Sean Connery? Is how most
Well,
people
no,
remember
yeah.
that.
Sean Connery or not Sean Connery.
Yeah, I mean
That's how I
we
remember
have Sean
my James
Connery and
Bond
Daniel
movies.
Craig at this point. That's his
I
name, right?
know. I mean,
There's been a few others.
Pierce Brosnan is
I-
decently well known.
yeah, like
Well, he's decent, but
Sean Connery's the best, but I think Pierce Brosnan's pretty good. I think people
Pierce
give him
Brosnan
too
was
much
pretty good.
crap.
I like Daniel Craig though.
I like Daniel Craig better. I like the movies Daniel Craig is in way better. Like I remember watching some of the older Pierce Brosnan ones, and I'm just not a huge fan. Like it's not like I don't like his acting. I just don't like the stories as much. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, perfectly understandable.
on the note of Sean Connery video games, there apparently was a Highlander video game. Just
Wow.
throwing that out
there were. I don't know about several, but there is at least.
According to Wikipedia, 5.
Okay.
5?
Now the one
Wait,
I am.
no, wait, no, that would include books and games. Excuse
okay.
me.
Yeah, that's a pretty big difference.
There was a video game. There was Highlander the card game, Highlander the game, which I don't know if that's different from the other two, and then Highlander the Last of the McLeods.
Now there's the one I'm familiar with. Not through playing it personally, but through the Spoony Ones videos. And I believe it was on like the Atari Jaguar or something. Because
Oh.
people remember that console. Yeah, that is a relic of old game design. In such as it'd be one of those
Sega
things where
CD?
you would enter a new area
Mm-hmm.
and like the camera angle would change, but you'd
Oh,
still
really?
be pressing the stick, so you walk back.
Oh, so not what is the way you go around avoiding that? Tank controls? Tank controls are the way they fixed that, right?
I don't know.
Words.
All right. Well,
Ben
that
obviously
was awkward.
knows more
I know-
about what he's talking about
I
than
know
we do.
just a little bit of the technical side. Very, very limited. Don't make me out
Okay.
to be some sort of
But
technical
the other thing
god.
is that I just want to bring up with James Bond is that like it's a successful movie franchise, but also a successful video game franchise. Like think
I mean,
about it.
that's the only one though. Like
Novels also.
What?
Novels also.
I can't. Well, yeah. I mean, you can make the same argument about Star
James
Wars.
Bond just takes media
yeah.
by force.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, you can make the same argument about Star Wars. It is, I mean, and it's meant to be a media juggernaut. I mean, it won at movies until the prequels.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just gonna ignore that and the fuzzy little Ewoks. It won at making books. They're over 100 now, most of which I like to think I've read, and some of the most successful video games of all time, a la Battlefront. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep my vote for Battlefront personally. If for no other reason than sentimental reasons, because I can't particularly, diss GoldenEye any harder than I can diss Battlefront.
While we're still on the subject of Star Wars, two things. I'm gonna do the first thing that is not so controversial.
Super
and-
Bombad
well,
Racing?
No. This one won't get me kicked out of the room, hopefully. But so
Holiday special.
no holiday special, the video game. How would that work?
You get to build a ham radio.
Oh. Okay.
Go on.
Anyway, Star Wars Republic Commando.
I loved it. Loved the game.
Yes.
Tito and Nordy J just stood up and raised their arms in the air in praise of me.
And
Oh
it was
God.
like totally synchronous too, which was the best
it
part.
was great.
If for no other reason than the books that followed that were some of the best in the entire Star Wars catalog.
Really? I know they exist. I haven't read them.
5 of the best books, I think it's 5, of the best books in the catalog. Possibly one of my favorite series out of all of them.
You know what?
Amazing. Good game. Did it come out before Halo?
No,
No.
it was post
Okay.
Halo.
Okay, because I was going to say it looked a lot like Halo is why
It was very Halo influenced.
that's the thing you would have to make an argument strongly against, and it's a really short game.
It is.
Okay, what is Star Wars Republic
I knew it.
Commando?
Oh. Oh,
He was
Joe,
worried about-
We're gonna have to teach you.
Brian was worried about getting kicked out of the room. You're about to get kicked out of the
So
room.
Come on.
I have that game. You're gonna play that at some point. That might be the
What
next
is it
game
for?
clip.
Xbox. I had it for Xbox.
it's-
I
right?
had it for
Xbox.
Xbox. I currently have a copy for
It's-
PC. Remind
It's
me to get that
backwards-
for you.
It's backwards compatible with the 360, which is why I can still play it. But yeah,
What's the premise of this game?
It's just
you
basically
you play as a squad of Republic commandos, that are
Clones.
basic clones that are. They're basically the special forces.
Okay.
they're
and
more
it's
unique
great.
than the rest of the clones. Like they're specially trained by Jango Fett and
they're,
stuff.
They have
they're-
personalities.
They're basically like the clones that were too individualistic to be, the rank
cannon
and file.
fodder.
Yeah, they can't be cannon
I-
fodder. They're great.
I will say this: I was on board with the whole Battlefront or GoldenEye part, but whenever Brian mentioned Republic Commando, it was totally like off my mind. I just forgot about it. It just didn't register with me. Whenever you mentioned that, I would put that over Battlefront.
I
In
disagree.
my opinion.
As much as I love Republic Commando, I disagree
Yeah.
because not because like the gameplay is inferior or anything, but just because like as a presentation as a whole, like Battlefront just is like
Better.
better. Like, it's got a lot of content, a lot of replayability. Republic Commando is a really
It has
short,
so much more replayability.
a really
Battlefront
short,
does,
a really short campaign, really weak multiplayer.
there was
like,
multiplayer.
Oh yeah, it existed, but this was when we were in
It would
like
have been
elementary
LAN.
school.
It would have been LAN, wouldn't
It
it?
would have been
It
broadband.
would have been.
Oh.
I think like Xbox Live was out, but not anywhere near as prevalent
Mhm.
as it was like when the 360 picked up Steam.
Yeah.
So not.
Wait,
not,
when did they pick up Steam?
not-
How did Valve allow that?
Oh, shut up! You know what I mean. The expression.
I will say. I mean, like, by no means, like, I definitely love Battlefront. Just that I felt like, I don't know, because like the Battlefront like history, like the story already. It's just like I love that take on like I love the characters in Republic Commando. I just love the story wise. Like, it was short.
It was an emotional
it
roller
was
coaster.
short.
It was a great.
But I
story.
loved it and I appreciated it. Like for Battlefront, I love the story, but that's because that's a shit that we already know. You know what I mean? Like to an extent, we see it from the clones' perspective. It's fine, but like I just love Republic Commando because like it's different. I appreciate like new things. Like I don't know.
It's really nitty gritty. You know why I love it? Out of all the things,
Yoda was a dick in the end.
no, Yoda let them go back down to save Sev.
No.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, they
he's
didn't.
Like you can't.
They told
go.
him get out.
No. He told them get out, but then they ordered him back in. That was the ending, and then it was like to be continued, and it was never to be continued.
No, that's.
Do you remember that? I do not remember
think
that.
that's a thing that happened.
We'll look this up after the end of the video, and we'll get back to y'all during the next recording session. But
What's the
what
point?
I really appreciate about Republic Commando, above not even any other Star Wars game, but above any other like first-person shooter, you had in the game I believe they called it like a vibro knife.
Yes.
It was like a wrist-mounted
Yeah.
blade.
Yes, vibro knife is what those are called.
Yes, and because I'm thinking vibroblade from KOTOR.
Yeah,
because,
Those were fun.
okay.
Yes.
Those were fun.
Anyway, so that was your melee weapon. And so when you
With the
stabbed,
fruit preserves, the icky fruit preserves.
when you
Jesus.
when you stabbed a droid or a
Geonosian.
Geonosian or a Trandoshan was the other enemy.
Tradition, yeah. You do know your shit.
You got blood on your like visor.
it,
And
like,
then there
wiped-
was like a laser
wiper?
windshield wiper. And that was just the coolest little detail to 11-year-old me.
It was so fucking awesome.
Wikipedia says no to what you said about the ending. By the way, they
Really?
don't go back down. Yeah,
They don't. That's why they're all mad. And like
Yeah, but
leader, I can't remember who the hell he is
I
anymore.
think it was just boss.
Boss. Okay,
which is
like,
great.
Like he begrudgingly said, "Okay, let's go."
All right, we
You
have to
have-
go, guys.
Yeah, but like the others, they're like, "No, we have to go get him." They didn't get him. That's like what the end
was.
was.
A plot point in the books, I think, was they have to go find Sev at some
Spoiler
point.
alert.
Yes. Oh, spoiler alert.
Oh
Wait,
yeah.
how old is this game?
I This was like 2004.
Oh, that's 10 years. I think we're okay.
It's been a decade.
I know.
Spoilers for every game we've discussed.
2005. Yeah.
Alright.
Spoiler alert for pretty much everything we've spoiled plot for.
Oh, geez.
But
I'm glad we really
Retroactively.
said this now.
yeah, retroactively. On that note, we're going to talk about one more thing really quickly, and then we're going to wrap it up. But does anybody have any really bad games?
Oh, wait,
While
wait.
we're on the
No, no,
subject.
No,
Wait,
Tita
I
didn't
haven't-
even get to say
Oh,
his
I'm
best.
sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
so
thought it was Republic Commando. My bad.
I literally got off my seat for that, but I mean, I came here prepared. Not really, but I had an idea because I played this game and it was based off, I find, an atrocious movie, but it was a good game in my
Room.
opinion. No, not The Room. God damn it. I loved X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Wow.
Really?
Video game, not the
Okay,
movie.
I was going to say, wait a
Not
minute.
the movie.
Wait a minute. The one where they silenced Deadpool? That one? That movie?
Yeah.
That movie?
Yeah.
That one? That one?
Unfortunately, yeah, but it was a great game. Gameplay mechanics, it was great. It was better than any other X-Men movie that was there. And another contender that I would have, you know what? I'm just throwing it out there. Would be, have you guys seen like Peter Jackson's King Kong?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The video game for that, for Xbox 360.
Never played it.
Never played it.
It's
I
amazing.
saw it on a lot of bargain bin things.
Well, don't let that fool you.
yeah. I've played some really good games out of a bargain bin. and
Oh,
that's-
me too.
That's how I
Trust
get all
me.
of my console games.
I mean,
at this point.
it's a really good game. You can play as both perspective from King Kong, fighting dinosaurs. I mean, like, that's simplistic, but it's a great combat system.
yeah.
You get to play
fighting.
from the perspective of the main hero. I can't remember his name, Jack or something like that. It's a shooter
Adrian
game, like
Brody.
Adrian Brody. Yeah.
Brody.
But like,
also known as Brody Quest.
you have
This is
like
the game.
you have like Tommy guns and stuff like that against like giant ass spiders, but also like humans. It's just like, I don't know.
right, the tribe, right.
It's a good game. I love the game.
All right.
all right. My vote still goes to Battlefront.
I think we all have our own respective
I think we
votes.
all have
I
our
think
own
we all have good
games.
arguments, though. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, like, I don't have a lot of experience with GoldenEye, but I just remember, I mean, I loved Nightfire and Agent Under Fire for the PS2. Those are phenomenal games, in my opinion. And knowing that it came from the 64 GoldenEye is just amazing. And from the sounds of it, Republic Commandos sounds
Pretty good game.
It's definitely something you should
Very
try.
You should-
yeah.
you should
Oh, yeah.
definitely
No.
try it.
Like, definitely, I would love to. It sounds like a lot of fun, and you know, I know and love Battlefront. So.
All right. So on that note, let's wrap it up with any last-minute terrible games we have. I know Brian has some. He's been sitting
All right.
on them the entire time.
All right. I'm gonna be fast, and just because we were on the subject of Star Wars games, and I don't think this is even.
Super Bombad Racing.
No, not Super Bombad Racing. I'm limiting it.
Excuse you. Super. Not super. Super.
Is that in the title?
Yes. Yes,
oh,
sir, it is.
Jesus.
Is it
Anyway.
AH or just an A? I want to know.
It is. I'm almost. I will
Pretty sure
check.
it's A.
I will check.
Oh, that's god awful.
I will check.
Okay. All right. Make your point, Brian.
All right. So I'm limiting this to games I've like actually played. So the worst movie game I've ever played and the worst Star Wars game I've ever played. Star Wars Episode 3: The Game.
It was not great.
I have actually played that one.
I've played it. I don't think it's the worst. I can't think of worst one off the top of my head, but it's not that good. It's not that good.
I apologize. It is super. I'm disappointed now. I could have sworn it was super.
You had me excited.
It couldn't be. I'm so sorry. It probably was that and got retconned when, you know.
When
People-
someone in
when-
LucasArts realized that was a horrible
Yeah, that was
idea.
probably the working title for it. A la George Lucas.
Well, anyway, Star Wars Episode 3: The Game was an entirely mediocre hack and slash, where you switched between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and there was just nothing unique about it. It was slow and clunky, and there was barely any difference between the characters. The one good thing I can say about it is that the multiplayer was okay.
The multiplayer was okay, yeah.
Was the
I've got
multiplayer the one where you
It was like the duels.
the dueling thing?
Yeah.
It was basically like a fighting
Mhm.
game.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely played that game.
I've got
then.
two worse than that. The
Alright.
second one, or the
second
not
worst.
as bad one,
Yeah.
is Force Unleashed 2, and the second one is game.
Jesus.
Well, that's cheating.
That's not fair. What kind of...
Like, that automatically tops the list. Like, I didn't even know we were considering it.
It's banned.
I thought that was so bad. We couldn't even talk about it.
Does that even qualify as a game? I thought it was like, you know, a crime against humanity.
It is banned in 30 states. I'm sorry.
Nordy J disqualified. Okay.
It is actually listed in the Geneva Conventions that nobody mentioned the game ever.
And I'm sorry, but there apparently were Jaws video games, and I feel like any one after the first or second one would be terrible.
You think that 1 and 2 had a chance of being good?
I'm saying they had a better chance.
I'm trying to think of really bad video games. From my personal experience, I know one that I tried to play and just couldn't bring myself to like actually do was Iron Man, a video game for the PS2.
That was so bad.
I have heard nothing but like for that.
Oh my
like
god!
Not like I haven't heard like that
Iron
it
Man
was absolutely horrible, but just it's just a massive sigh of
Okay.
from everybody who's ever played it.
Are we not counting Colonial Marines? Because that's pretty bad. Is it up for worst or not that bad?
It's not that bad.
I can't say
I
because
feel like
I've never
it
actually
was such
played it.
raised expectations for that. Like they were like ushering a new like Aliens like gaming
Fair enough.
franchise, and it just wasn't as great as
Fair
people
enough.
thought.
And my other thought on that is Ghostbusters.
I thought Ghostbusters
It wasn't that bad.
Was it not that bad?
It wasn't that bad.
Never played it. I heard
I-
bad things.
It wasn't great. It wasn't
I
that
heard
bad.
they
This
make it the bad
weren't
game.
that.
I've seen other ones like one that I always see at GameStop is I think Scarface the game.
It's not that bad either.
That's not bad.
It's
I've
not
actually heard
Godfather
that it's
the
alright.
game.
I heard it was Godfather 1 was good. Godfather 2 I've played, and again it's not too bad, but like you feel like there's such like expectations and promises. They like Peter Molyneux did from Fable. Like
okay.
I think I pronounced that horribly,
No, I think you got it.
but like
it's
it's
Frenchy.
kind of what he does though. Like you know what I mean? Like such raised expectations, and then like so many things get cut. Godfather 2 I feel had that same thing happen to it.
Okay.
Because like the gang like system, it was supposed to be implemented a lot better.
I would like to point out that I don't remember if it was a port of the first or second Godfather game, but there was one on the Wii, and all I know about it is
First
you
one.
could like strangle people with the nunchucks.
That is
I'm
both
like,
awesome
and I was
and
like,
frightening.
I'm sold. I never actually played it, but I always thought that was a brilliant idea.
Not necessarily the reason why I love that game, but it was a good game.
Finally, my M-rated Wii game.
Wait, do those actually exist?
There are a few.
Godfather, example 1.
There was there's some
There's
other-
that one game made by like it looked like a lot of Gears of War, but it wasn't.
you know what I'm
talking
Mad
about?
World.
Yeah.
Mad World. That is from Platinum Games. I haven't played it, but
Platinum.
I've played a few of their other games, and you know they've yet to disappoint me.
Wait,
so.
Platinum?
Yeah.
Well, Platinum did didn't they do a lot of like the early like 3D platformer stuff?
No. Platinum is kind of the remnants of Clover Studios, who are a part of Capcom. But they're kind of, you know, head guy. I don't know what his position is. Hideki Kamiya, and he's the man responsible for the original Devil May Cry, and also for Okami, which is my favorite game of all time.
Yes, good game.
So I love the guy. And lately, now that they're kind of independent, he did Bayonetta, they did, and recently Metal Gear Rising. And also
wow.
Mad World on the Wii, Anarchy Reigns.
I've heard of that.
Anyway, yes. So yeah, there's your M-rated Wii game, as well as what was it? I
There's
want
some
to say
sword
I
games.
want to say Killer 7, but that's on the GameCube. But it's a Suda
Killer
51 game.
No,
Oh, is
Red.
it?
You're like talking about some samurai sword game.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
It's like Red Steel.
No, oh,
Right?
that too. I forgot about that. But no, I was thinking about the Suda 51 game. Why can't I remember? No More Heroes. Why couldn't I remember that?
Oh, yeah.
So yes,
Was that a good
M-rated
game?
Wii games. I've only played the demo of the PS3 port, but I had fun with it.
I've heard
So-
that it's good. I've heard No More Heroes is good. But back to terrible
Yeah.
movie video games.
right.
Yeah, no, I remember playing Iron Man. I think I was like 14 or 15, and it just like I got through the like tutorial level and like maybe the first level, and I was like, I cannot play this game.
Let me blow your mind for a second. Iron Man 1 is fantastic compared to Iron Man 2. Video game.
Ugh.
Dear Lord. Iron Man 2 was possibly the worst video game I've...
Yeah,
One of the worst video games I've ever
that
played.
reminds me of PS1 and PS2. Well, not PS1 and PS2. PS2's versions of Ultimate Alliance from Marvel and Ultimate Alliance
Not
2.
a fan of that.
I
I'm
did not like those
I'm not a
games.
fan of that game.
I'm all right with them.
Like,
I liked
I
it.
just
I liked
didn't
the first
enjoy
one.
playing it. It was just me though.
My, I was almost going to say favorite. My, like, least liked video game movie-based video game probably have to be, what's it called? Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Ooh, well, that was a bad movie to start with.
Yeah, and horrible game.
Ugh.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
well,
not
yeah,
great.
because another Marvel,
Yeah. So, like, I guess there's a trend in, like, my things here, except for, like, Wolverine, which I felt was a good movie. A lot of Marvel and superhero
You
games...
mean game?
I meant game, yeah.
You meant game.
Yeah, I meant game. But, like, I just felt like a lot of Marvel, like, or superheroes games in general, like, kind of fall off. Like, there've only been good, like, the best superhero game I can think of, and that's not saying movie. I mean, based off the superhero movie game, like, because it's Batman Arkham series, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, that's based off the comic, I would like to say, rather than, like, the Christopher Nolan series or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm not. I would never argue this for the best, but I really dug the first Spider-Man based, off the movie game.
I like the second one the best, actually.
I
Between
agree.
of the three, the second one I felt was better because it was more open world. First one is like kind of just like you're going linear, going through, but like the second one I felt was better. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but let me tell you something. Did you ever use the cheat in the first one where you could become Green Goblin?
Green Goblin, yes,
That
I
was
did.
awesome.
It was
that
so
was
fun.
freaking amazing. All right, I'm happy with that. But Iron Man, dude, just fucking blew. That was an
Alright.
awful game.
Well, on that note, I think we're gonna wrap up for the night.
Yep.
Ran a little longer than I think we intended, but thank you all for listening, and hope you all come back for the second one whenever we get that up. Should be a week for you all. Any last words, guys?
As the ancient Hawaiians used to say, stay classy, San Diego.
Thanks for listening to Late Night Gaming Thought with the Midnight Crew. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and leave comments or topic suggestions wherever you go. You can email us at latenightgamingthought@gmail.com. Thanks again, and tune in next week.